everyone who's seen his work, who's been attached with him in some way, is saddened today. You know, your memories of the icon.
He was a giant. He was a giant in every which way. Not just his performance, the way he looked after people, the way, you know, his family, his friends. He was so generous, so generous. You know, I don't know anybody like him who was so generous with his time, with his money, with his affection. You know, he was a great man. I really loved him.
Sharmila it's a very challenging time for the Deol family. Have you managed to have a word with them, convey your condolence?
I haven't. Yeah, I live in Delhi, so I haven't been there yet. But when I go, I will, of course. But I've been in touch. I've been in touch regularly since he was in the hospital. I've been in touch with them.
I'm sure most of his fans would want to remember Dharmendra as the charming actor that he was. What is your fondest memory, ma'am, of the star who's now leaving a huge void behind?
Well, I worked in, like I said, many films with him and many outdoors with him. So he was very charming, very caring. And if there was a mobbing or if there was a lot of crowd, you know, we felt safe with Dharam. He would look after us. ऐसा नहीं कि वो गाड़ी में बैठ के चले गए और हम परेशान होते रहे. उनके साथ वो he would look after you. First he will put you in. I mean, of course, the other actors are also like that. But with Dharam we felt safe because he felt he was strong, you know. And during Satyakam ke time pe in Ghatshila, we were mobbed. And he was very good. Somehow we got out of that place, but I remember Dharam.
Ma'am, he was known as this macho man, macho he-man, but his comic timing with you in films like Chupke Chupke is also something that...
In Chupke Chupke, he should have definitely won the national award. He was so good. He was so good. I see it all the time. Every time I feel a little low, मैं तो Chupke Chupke देखती हूँ. क्योंकि उनका कॉमिक टाइमिंग इज वेरी गुड. वो नेशनल अवार्ड मिलना था, पता नहीं उनको क्यों नहीं दिया गया.
As the world pays its condolence, its praise for the Deol family, a lot of the fans, also co-actors, people who have been associated with Dharmendra, also remember him with a smile on their lips for the kind of comic time that he had. Who can forget the famous scene in Sholay where he stood on top of that water tank in trying to woo Hema Malini's character in the film, or like Sharmila Tagore mentioned, the role of his professor turned driver in Chupke Chupke. So there are numerous such films for which Dharmendra fans will always remember him. But Tavishi, I want to bring you in. His health had been a cause of concern. Old age was catching up with him. But the way he made a comeback with Ranveer Singh, with Alia Bhatt, with Shabana Azmi, that also showed the spirit that he had towards life, even when health was not on his side.
Absolutely, and that shouldn't be surprising at all, because that is what was quintessentially Dharmendra. He could surprise you with his persona at any given point. Just, and he has done it all through his life also. Just when you start thinking that, he's this macho man, he's this action hero, he turns into this beautiful, most handsome lover boy. Then you say that, okay, he's this quintessential lover boy and this romantic hero, and he surprises you with his comic timing.
Tavishi, give me a moment. Saira Banuji is also with us on the broadcast. Saira ji, thank you so much for speaking to CNN News 18.
Please hurry up, I'm leaving.
Please kindly tell us your fondest memory of Dharmendra. Saira Banuji?
हाँ जी बोलिए.
आप मुझे सुन पा रही हैं? आप धर्मेंद्र जी को कैसे याद करती हैं मैम? आपकी फॉन्डेस्ट मेमोरी उनके लिए?
ऐसे याद करते हैं जैसे कोई अपने भाइयों को याद करता है. यूसुफ साहब के भाई तो दिलीप साहब के भाई रहे, अजीज भाई, dearest brother, who was so down to earth. ऐसा लगता ही नहीं था कि वो उतनी अजीम शख्सियत है, इतने बड़े आदमी हैं. कभी ऐसा लगा नहीं. ऐसे लगा the most down to earth person, the person next door. He would come in at any time to our place because the house was open to him. Dilip Saab's heart, my heart, it was open to him. And we have lost a gem of a man. People like that don't come by at all. People like him, people like Dilip, people like Amitabh Ji, the last of the crowd that existed. The exalted people, absolutely exalted. Nobody like them. And he was inspired to come to film because of Dilip Sahab. This is what he always used to say. He always used to say that.
Ma'am, you came into the industry when you were very young. So you've literally seen all these icons grow into the icon that they became.
I'm leaving now. Call me later. Call me later.
All right. Saira Banu there, speaking to CNN News 18, expressing her condolence to the Deol family, also remembering, Dharmendra with a lot of fondness. Tavish, I'm sorry I had to cut you short there, but let me come back to you after we just, lived through what Dharmendra was all about. He was an actor, like you were also saying, actor par excellence, somebody who could quickly slip into the lover boy image and also be a he-man of Bollywood as he was called. His legacy lives on. Let's just take a look at what Dharmendra leaves behind.
In 1958, after winning the Filmfare Talent Hunt, a young man from Kapurthala, Punjab, left for Mumbai to try his luck in the movies. Little did anyone know that a young Dharmendra Singh Deol's affair with showbiz would last over 50 years. Had Nargis and Sunil Dutt not selected Dharmendra's picture from thousands of aspirants on the talent hunt, the young hopeful may never have mustered the courage to make the journey.
माँ ही होती है जिसके पास आप जाके कह सकते हैं मुझे ये करना है. My father was totally against. He never wanted me to be in films at all. वो तो बहुत ही अपसेट थे, लेकिन ये फिल्म फेयर ने मुझे नहीं बुलाता तो शायद मैं नहीं आ पाता. So I'm really lucky.
Growing up in Saneval in Punjab, Dharmendra was drawn to show.
Madhur Bhandarkar is joining us on the broadcast once again. Mr. Bhandarkar, we've spoken to you earlier also, but everyone who's speaking to us has a different story in the way they remember Dharmendra. How do you remember him, sir?
I always remember him as one actor who was always, I've interacting him from last 20-25 years. I've been meeting him whenever I was in function, events, or whenever once or twice I went to his house also to meet him. And he was full of energy, he was full of positivity, vibrant, had great sense of humor, and always full of life, always, I used to always see his videos on Instagram and, about his farm house and all. And always I used to call him whenever such occasion, like sometime on birthday, sometime Diwali, so I wish him New Year, always I used to be in touch with him. In between, he used to not stay in Mumbai, mostly he used to stay in farm house only. So, in between, I used to also, somewhere I used to call him and I wish him and, that kind of personality he was. And we grown up watching his movie. I mean, this was the black and white era, the kind of personality he was, versatile actor, I would say. The kind of roles he did, Chupke Chupke, Satyakam, Sholay, Mera Gaon, Mera Desh, you name it, all kind of character he has done. I mean to say, he was one person who helped to do all serious cinema also. He used to do comedy also. He was equally good in the action film like Hukumat, Ailane Jang and Tehelka, kind of films also. He was too good in those movies also.
One of those rare actors who even without being part of a film, the entire plot revolved around him, like in Guddi.
Yeah, completely. Where he was absolutely brilliant. I mean to say, so many times we have remember watching Guddi on Doordarshan those days, and later on also we watched, many times. All the films, I mean to say, there are so many his films are there which has been always. I remember one film of J.P. Datta called Hatiyar, where he was absolutely brilliant in the film, completely. He played underplayed. But when you see, wouldn't see Dharamji, the way he was so underplayed in the role, one of the very remarkable portrayal of the character in the one more movie called Qayamat was there. Mr. Raj Sippy had directed that movie. It was loosely based on a film called Cave Fear, where Dharamji played a negative role. Very rare, I mean to say. He played a very negative role and very well appreciated and received by the box office then, that time also. I remember, I think it was in 83, 84. So he was one person who used to play different kind of roles. And he used to always believe, he was one person very helpful, help friends for movies, or always, he was one person always there, for people. And whenever I had an opportunity to meet him, he was always encouraging, the kind of movie you make, acha waise bana, realistic bana, date rahe. So the kind of, always, it was great to meet him. And I was one person, used to watch his movie and I used to tell him, sir, maine ye picture dekhi, aapne wo picture dekhi. Because I myself is a movie buff, so I always see all kind of movies. Even if there was a special appearance of Dharamji, I used to watch his movies. So his movies have been always, and generation. I mean, to say till today also. I mean, he's been working so much in the films what he's done recently with Karan Johar. Another writer friend of mine who wrote Bubbly Bouncer. He's written a film. He also
Right.
where Shahid Kapoor was there.
Right.
So he was one person always there.
Okay.
To watch his movies,
Mr. Bhandakar, thank you so much. As I'm speaking to you, I can see visuals of Pawan Hans. I think the celebrities, the actors and the family members are now coming out. Yasha is there. Yasha, okay, I'll just go back to Yasha. But Tavishi, if you're still there, these visuals of vehicles now rolling out of the crematorium. So looks like they've all paid their last respect to Dharmendra ji.
Yes. That's what it all seems like. We still haven't heard anything formally from the family, but yes, now it's become more and more clear that what we have been fearing for so long has finally come true.
Right.
And probably the last rites have been performed by the family, specifically Sunny Deol, his eldest son. It's very, very unfortunate, very extremely sad. It's really the end of an era.
Right.
for
Let me,
the film
Tavishi, let me
industry.
bring in Yasha. But I think Prime Minister has also now, expressed his condolence. Prime Minister Modi has put out this post on social media. The passing of Dharmendra ji marks the end of an era in Indian cinema. He was an iconic film personality, a phenomenal actor who brought charm and depth to every role he played. The manner in which he played diverse roles struck a chord with countless people. Dharmendra ji was equally admired for his simplicity, humility and warmth. In the sad hour, my thoughts are with his family, friends and innumerable fans. Om Shanti. So that's the official word from the top leadership of the government that has now come in. Condolence for Dharmendra and for the Deol family. The Prime Minister has put out this post on his social media account, and that's the official word that we have now heard from the government at least. Yasha, Dharmendra ji was also, he of course he leaves a huge void in the film industry, but as a member of parliament too, he had served Bikaner. Hema Malini is part of the Bharatiya Janata Party Parivar, representing Mathura consistently. So for the Prime Minister to now put out makes it as official as possible.
Absolutely. In fact, Arunima, the Prime Minister has, like you rightly said, gone on record to in fact call Dharmendra ji a phenomenal actor, saying that he brought charm and depth to every role that he played. And of course, going further to also say that he admired him for his simplicity, humility and warmth. Of course, he's gone ahead to pay tributes to Dharmendra ji, stating that that his thoughts are with family and innumerable fans. And as we speak about this, there are official messages, official tweets and messages coming in from several top leaders across the entire country, and which is where, while the family even now has not spoken about this, somehow goes ahead to speak and add confirmation to the speculation that have been going around for so long. We've also seen how both the Chief Minister as well as the Deputy Chief Minister of the state have also issued a statement paying tributes to Dharmendra ji. In fact, the Chief Minister of the state, Devendra Fadnavis, has also gone ahead to pay tributes to him, and in the statement that he's issued and said that this is an end of a golden era in Bollywood. In fact, going further, to commemorate his different roles, stating that when it comes to an actor like him who's played versatile roles in Bollywood, he'll always be remembered by people for the kind of versatile roles that he's played, and so is the case with Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar also, who has issued the statement on the same, saying that Dharmendra leaves a void in the Bollywood industry. Just a couple of days short of turning 90. In fact, fans were waiting that he'd be celebrating his 90th birthday. But now that we see the statement, the kind of statements coming in from top leaders across various spectrum, be it the Prime Minister, be it the Chief Minister, and so far, where we are present right now, we're seeing that Salman Khan has already stepped out, but even now there are several Bollywood celebrities who are still making their way.
Yasha, give me a moment. Javed Akhtar is with me on the broadcast. Mr. Akhtar, thank you so much for joining us on CNN News 18. Sholay is an iconic film for all of us. For Viru of Sholay to have left us, huge void which can never be filled.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Whenever somebody passes away of certain importance, there a line that is repeated, and it has almost become a cliche, that an era has come to an end. An era has come to an end. But with Dharamji, it is really true. An era has come to an end today. There is no doubt about it. He was an era in himself. All his colleagues have already departed. He was the sole representative of the time where India has produced so many interesting films. Hindi film industry has produced so many pictures. There were so many great directors and great films and so on. He was the last symbol of that time. He was a very unusual person, being a star for almost 5 decades, if not more. He was an extremely unusual person. Unusual actor, unusual person. There are certain qualities which are, in a way, contradictory. They are not compatible. Like tremendous dignity and extreme humility. Now, it is very difficult to see them together. Such dignity that he had and such humility that he also possessed. And it was, both the things were together. Like in films, if you see, when he played in action films, you felt that here is an actor who is made for playing action hero. But at the same time, when he was in, say, Satyakam or in Anupma, gentle, sophisticated, educated, shy, reticent, then he would be totally convincing there also. तो ये कॉन्ट्रडिक्टरी है जो ना इंसानों में इस तरह की अजीब सी खूबियां एक साथ मिलती हैं और ना एक्टर में ऐसी खूबियां एक साथ मिलती हैं आमतौर से.
But Javed ji, when you met Hema ji, and as I'm speaking to you, I can see Hema Malini ji at that crematorium. When you met them on the sets of Sholay, which was Dharam ji in reality? Was he the man who was mimicking the god's voice?
I am not in. I'm afraid I'm not in Bombay.
Ji.
So I have not been able to reach the crematorium. But obviously I'll go and meet both Sunny and Hema ji later when I come back in a day. But at the moment I'm not here.
Ji, I was asking you, when you met them on the sets of Sholay, which Dharmendra did you think was closest to reality? The one who was taking on Gabbar Singh, the one who stood on the tank in trying to woo the lover boy, or the comic timing that we saw when the Jai Viru banter happened?
Actually, my association with Dharamji is much older than Sholay. I came to Bombay in 1965, and within a year I became an assistant with Mr. Bridge Sadana, and he was directing a film Yaqeen, where Dharamji, who was at the pinnacle of his career, he was the hero of the picture. And I was an assistant director, not even the chief assistant director, an ordinary assistant on the salary of 175 rupees. And that was the time when I saw his real self, because you see, everybody is good to celebrities. Everybody is nice to people of certain importance. You show your colors when you are dealing with somebody who's a nobody, which I was. And he was so gentle. He would talk to me like an elder brother. He would always see that I am not slighted or insulted or humiliated. A very, very sensitive person. So, मेरा जो पहला impression है, the first impression that I have of Dharamji's gentleness, his decency, his humanity, is when I interacted with him as an ordinary assistant. And how kind and how gentle he was with me. He had no reason for being so nice except for being a nice man, which he was.
And did you still see that charm when you saw Rocky or Rani Ki, that film with?
Yes, he was ready. And believe me, when we were working in Sita or Gita or in Sholay, every time when he would come for the shooting in the morning, the first reaction I and some of my colleagues would have, how can a man be so good looking? It is illogical. How can he be so good looking? But he was actually Greek god walking. He was unbelievable in his young age. The kind of looks he had, one could, association is unkind to beauty, because if you keep on seeing familiar, she kills that awe. But with him it was not so. Every day when we would see him, we would be totally awed by his handsome looks.
Thank you, Javed Akhtar. Thank you so much for giving us a peek into what Dharmendra was all about. Bollywood's He-Man is no more. A towering figure on screen, celebrated for his action-packed roles. The world remembers Dharampaji for his charismatic presence and his versatility. Over a career spanning 6 decades, Dharmendra delivered iconic performances in classics like Sholay, Anupama, Chupke Chupke, Sita and Gita. The list is endless. We pay our respect to Dharmendra Deol.
In 1958, after winning the Filmfare Talent Hunt, a young man from Kapurthala, Punjab, left for Mumbai to try his luck in the movies. Little did anyone know that a young Dharmendra Singh Deol's affair with showbiz would last over 50 years. Had Nargis and Sunil Dutt not selected Dharmendra's picture from thousands of aspirants on the talent hunt, the young hopeful may never have mustered the courage to make the journey.
माँ ही होती है जिसके पास आप जाके कह सकते हैं मुझे ये करना है. My father was totally against. He never wanted me to be in films at all. वो तो बहुत ही अपसेट थे, लेकिन ये फिल्म फेयर ने मुझे नहीं बुलाता तो शायद मैं नहीं आ पाता. So I am really lucky.
Growing up in Saneval in Punjab, Dharmendra was drawn to showbiz through the films that he saw at the local theatre. Although Bimal Roy signed on Dharmendra for his film Bandini, the actor's first release was Dil Bhi Tera Hum Bhi Tere, directed by Arjun Hingorani in 1960. The early 60s saw Dharmendra in mostly heroine-oriented films like Surat Aur Seerat, Anpad and Bandini. The actor's breakout performance came as Shaka in Phool Aur Patthar opposite Meena Kumari. And the scene in which Dharmendra takes off his shirt became one of the highlights of the film. 1970 saw the release of Tum Hasi Main Jawan, in which Dharmendra featured opposite a relatively new actress, Hema Malini. The two went on to become one of Hindi cinema's most endearing couples, both on screen and off it. Through most of the 70s, film glossies had a field day speculating on the romance between a